Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
In terms of superhero movies, we've covered Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh, don't make me do a trilogy.
I did toy with the idea, but honestly, I think I really wanted to cover this one for a very long time. And I just want you to witness it. And I know there's a bit of background history with it anyway. So
yeah,
the film we're going to be talking about is The Dark Knight, and it's another Christopher Nolan film we've covered with Oppenheimer, so we're in two by the same director in the year, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much. Bypassing the first one, Batman Begins, I mean, it's solid, don't get me wrong, but I think this is certainly hits the ground running once it gets into this, and it's the most, it's probably, I would say now, one of my favourite Christopher Nolan films anyway, so.
And one of your favourite superheroes?
Yeah, of DC, yeah, so.
Who's your favourite in Marvel?
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I asked that.
Yeah.
So who's your favourite after Spider-Man, then?
I'm not really sure.
To be fair, I don't really know who my favourite are. I do know, though, that you don't like Superman.
Yeah.
Since you actually, sold atop that we got you for Christmas with, because we were like, oh, he's just a geek, he really likes superheroes. And I think it was between Batman and Superman, and I think my dad picked one. Oh, just get him that one. And got him that one, and you were like...
Little did you know.
Little did I know it made such a massive impact that you absolutely hate him. And sold it.
So would you like to give a brief overview of your sort of semi-relationship with this movie? Because you have sort of seen a little bit of it, but...
Yes. So I think I probably will have been about maybe 16 years old.
The film came out in 2008, so does that...
2008.
14, 15?
Yeah, maybe 15.
Yeah.
And my sister was going on, like, a blind date, I guess. She'd met somebody online and she was quite smitten, and she's still engaged to him now, so it's, it's fine. But it was one of those where you didn't really have to have pictures back then. Right. It was just like one of those chat things.
Yeah, like MSN or something.
But like one of those random chats where you can just chat to anybody. I don't know if you've ever been on one of those when you were younger. And you can just talk to anybody and they just pop up. I think it was called literally just chat.
Never heard of it.
And you could just...
That's what it was called. But...
Just like chat to people. Yeah. So she met her soon-to-be, or future now fiancé. But she was obviously quite young. I think she was about 18 when she was going on this blind date. So they went to the first date was when they met, was going to the cinema, which I think is a bit of a weird one because you're like not really talking and you sat in a dark room with a stranger.
Well, I don't say there's a problem, but...
Well, how are you meant to get to know one another?
You talk about the film afterwards, you go for a meal.
Yeah, but I don't think they did.
Well, you don't know that because...
I actually don't know, to be fair. But anyways, so mum being an overprotective mum of a daughter, as she should be, was like, right, well, he doesn't know what we look like, so we're going to go and sit in the cinema and watch you two, Sarah and Steve, at the same time as watching the film. So
we were like the very far side of the other room?
We were like at the back of them.
Oh, okay.
So we could see where they were, and they were like in the middle, and we'd had like a couple of rows back, literally like parallel, watching them, watching the movie. And it got to a point where we thought, oh, well, they're seeming to be...
Leave them to it,
all right, we'll leave them to it. And pretty much that's when Heath Ledger probably started being a bit more apparent in the film. Yeah. And we got up and left, which I've never done in my entire life when I've purchased a ticket at the cinema.
I don't think I've ever gone, right, that's it, I can't take this anymore.
I could have done that a couple of times with what you've made me watch. House of Berlin, I could have gone, I'm done. And that zombie one.
Yeah. The film festivals, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I actually don't really know. I know Heath Ledger, he's Heart of Gold. I love him to bits. He's absolutely beautiful in what's it called now?
10 Things I Hate.
Yes, 10 Things I Hate About You. That's like my favourite of him.
Right, well, he's obviously very different in in this.
But I quite like the Joker as a character.
He's interesting, and that's why he's like the most popular Batman villain, because there's so much to bounce off from him.
And I think he's just so complex as a character. I think it's when you look at the other Joker one that we watched, you understand why he's the way he is. You kind of love him but hate him. Yeah,
I'll tell you now, this one doesn't go into that depth of
no. I think he's just going to be the typical Joker of absolutely being an arse, but in a humorous way that you admire him a little bit.
I'd say so. But no, very much looking forward to rewatching this one. It's been a long while, to be fair, but it's so good though.
Well, last time I saw it was when it was out in the cinema, and then I think I might have seen it like around Christmas time or like when it's been on telly or something. But again, it's just never been sat watching it all the way through. So I'll probably know the beginning and not the end.
So it's quite lengthy, but I think
we've got time this weekend, so hopefully it'll be all right.
I remember just last before we get into things, and the fact that it was like sort of, I guess, what Oppenheimer was in sort of like events cinema. Like I remember me being in the queue when with friends from school, or whatever, obviously meeting up to go and see it like an event, like queuing to get into the screen and stuff like that, kind of stuff like that. Never really happened.
And I walked out. No, it could have been in Bradford Showcase. No, Cineworld. And
we wouldn't even know.
We wouldn't have even known that we were both there at the same time.
Was it an evening showing?
No.
Through the week?
Through the day on the weekend.
Oh, right, no, I don't think I would have been there. Right, very quick, briefly, obviously, people, just for the, for people who want a little, read the synopsis like we normally do. This is from IMDb.
Shall I help with it?
What do you mean?
Bruce Wayne is abandoned by his mum and dad or something.
They're already dead.
Or died. And he's now, a superhero. What? He's got to defeat the Joker and a love of his life or something like that. And
defeat the love of his life?
No, like make sure the Joker don't get his love of his life and yada yada yada, and they all live happily ever after. And the Joker's sad. The end.
It doesn't quite read it like that. When the menace known as the Joker wreaks havoc and chaos on the people of Gotham, Batman must accept one of the greatest psychological and physical tests of his ability to fight injustice. Excited?
Not after the synopsis, but in general. Really? The synopsis that makes me like, oh yeah, I really want to watch it. It's just another superhero film. The way that it reads.
There's a bit more to it than that. But
Yeah.
Right. So, back in a little while. Sophie's thoughts, finally, on The Dark Knight.
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
And why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No, you complete me.
Why so serious?
I'm sorry, but I think we need to do like a reel or something of that, because actually you scared me a little bit. You really, really got yourself into character there, didn't you?
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's probably been done to death when obviously the film came out, but I mean, from the offset, that shows what an iconic Joker Heath Ledger played in this film. And there's when we're going through this film, it's like reminding myself, like, oh yeah, there's that line and that line.
He's been given brilliant lines, but he delivers them fantastically. Mm-hmm. I feel like this film would be nothing without him.
Right.
He's the true star. Like, he makes it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah, these are the standout performance from it, yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you didn't have a Joker in this film, obviously you wouldn't have a villain, so he wouldn't be that great. Yeah. But just he's weirdly lovable. Like, when he's on the screen, he's scary and he's sadistic. But at the same time, it's boring when he's not there. The most fun is when he's there, and the action and the dialogue, and he's just, I don't know, he's brilliantly portrayed by Heath Ledger, and it just shows, sadly, what a wonderful actor he was.
So, yeah, sorry, we got, like, kind of, like...
Yes.
Caught into in all that.
But still, it's amazing.
But as overall, obviously, like, what did you... Just general thoughts...
Really enjoyed it.
...of the film, what do you think?
Yeah. I feel like I've watched half of it, I think, in general.
You think you saw more of it than you thought, basically? Yeah. You thought... You made it sound like you had, like, 30 minutes, and then you just...
That's what it felt like, but actually I think it wasn't, but I don't think I enjoyed it when I was younger.
Okay.
I don't think my younger self would have appreciated this film.
I've got a feeling that might have been the case, yeah.
Whereas, I used to get scared of Iron Man, like, when I was little.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the terrorists?
Yeah.
And everything, right.
So I think this would have been a similar thing, and the Joker would have scared me, whereas now I can actually appreciate...
Well, you also said that, didn't you? I don't know if we've mentioned this before.
What?
About...
I'm sure we have.
Well, just to refresh people's... In case they haven't.
Well, when me and Paul were dating, there was... It's kind of a comical story now, but I don't think it was back then. There was this film, I don't know what Batman film it was at the time.
It probably was... It must have been this one. If it was, like, the Joker or...
I don't know, because it's like a Batman killer. And we were talking, so I don't think...
Obviously, that was way after the fact.
So there must have been another Batman released film.
The follow-up was like 2012.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So that was Dark Knight Rises, but Joker wasn't involved in that, obviously.
No, but it was to do with Batman.
Right, so it must have been to do with that then.
Mm-hmm. And it was the Batman killer, which then he looked a little bit like you. So that scared me because I was talking to you at the time. And
from a profile picture, you thought...
He had a beard and he had your brown hair and a biggish nose.
Oh, sorry, that hasn't really changed.
And I was just like, And then I was talking, and your eyes, when you took photos, you for some reason always looked surprised, like, in them. I don't know why. Like,
does that still occur?
Not when I take them, you're fine, but I think if you take a selfie of yourself, your eyes go, look, for some reason you lift your eyebrows up and you look like amused or, for some reason. And that looks like you could just have a knife.
Okay.
But yeah. I digressed there. Well, you encouraged it.
I know. I thought it might as well just bring it up because of the film we're covering. But...
And why I didn't want to go see Iron Man, because then it was like, oh, it's another superhero villain, and they had terrorists within it. So yeah, I don't think younger Sophie would have loved this.
So in terms of like how the film's paced, as you've kind of just sort of touched on, like, I mean, from the get-go, you're thrown in to the film with this action
100%
heist sequence,
And he's so, I don't know, his lines are so cleverly done because he contradicts himself quite a lot with what he says. He's like a little bit of a psychopath because the way that he's like, oh, nobody plans it out, but technically he has planned every single little bit out because, like, even with the heist, he's saying, oh, you kill this person, you kill that person, and then in the end, nobody's around, and he's just got everyone doing the dirty work for him.
It's just chaos, isn't it, as he sort of describes.
Yeah, but he must have a smart brain at the same time to think of all of this. He's very intelligent, actually, the Joker is, as a character.
That's what makes him the most interesting Batman villain of all of them. That's why
I don't know any of the villains.
Like the other ones that, in other iterations, that's always like, it's Batman and the Joker, that's always the case, is the cat and mouse rivalry kind of going on.
I don't even really know who Robin is.
Well, he's one of the goodies, but yeah, he seems a bit of a joke, like a little sidekick type of... Another films, but...
I thought Scarecrow was going to be a bit more something.
Oh yeah, so he was another villain, but I mean, he does come across more, since obviously we've jumped from Batman Begins, where Scarecrow was the main villain in that, and so he's kind of just like not so much sidelined, but obviously like brought back in for this film, like he's still at large in a sense, or
still think
threat.
The Joker is, I don't know, he's just fantastic.
Yeah. Whereas in the end of Batman Begins, there's like the calling card of the Joker card was touched upon there, so it's like for like obviously making sequel bait for that film, going, oh look, Joker's going to come in the next film, and that's what this leads to. So
I can't believe I haven't actually watched all of it. To be fair, And the second half is so much better. Like, it really just kind of gripped me even more because I hadn't seen it. And I was like, oh my God, certain things I didn't anticipate. And it just really...
Like that. You must have seen that or not remembered it. But that
Probably
bit
not
where
remembered it.
the fake Batman thing gets smashed against the window and that was like the jump scare type.
And I absolutely pat my pants.
Yeah.
Didn't I? Don't know why. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just didn't expect him to be... I think it was more the thud.
Yeah, to be fair, because it was quite loud audio mix of the incidental music, but even every time I watch that, I forget that's coming. It's not like it's not something you expect to happen, no. And so that's always interesting, that the fact that it still gets me in a sense, but even though it's not really particularly that terrifying, it's just a bit startling.
Yeah, it's the thud, it's the bump, and it's so cleverly done. Some of the views, the way that they've shot it, and everything, I feel like it's just...
On just with the big IMAX camera scopes, we've seen like Hong Kong and the Gotham City and all that kind of stuff, just sweeping things. It sets you in the the location of where it's all urban jungle type of...
Taking place, yeah. No, definitely. So you've got Rachel and Harvey.
Mm-hmm. Rachel in this is played by a different actress. She's from the first one. They swapped her for whatever reason.
Why?
I think, well, certainly in this one, she's a lot better character actor than
right.
Katie Holmes, who was Tom Cruise's wife, girlfriend, I don't know, or love interest. But yeah.
So was the Batman the same?
Yes, Christian Bale, right. Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit of a waste of money to have to change her because what actually happens to her in the end doesn't really matter, does it? Might as well have stuck with her.
I know, but...
Not like they're carrying on with her, is it? That really shocked me, to be fair, that she actually died. Not meaning this in a daft way, but normally, like, Spider-Man straight away saves the woman, doesn't he? He's swooping down with his webs and has to catch her heroically.
But then again, he didn't save Gwen Stacy, does he? So that was like the first... in that Amazing Spider-Man series. And in the comics, it's like his first love before Mary Jane.
I don't know, Gwen Stacy never really kind of makes an impact on me, so I'm never aware. But, yeah, she just seems to be... I thought Batman was going to go rescue Rachel, not Harvey.
But you did say, like, how it kind of grips, because the suspense all the time, like, curveball, with the also, like, political stanza and everything, like, who's in cahoots with who on...
Who's good, who's
and
bad.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like, so it keeps you on your toes throughout.
Yeah, it really does, and you don't know who's actually good or bad. Even, like, some of the cops, like...
Yeah.
That have more of a resemblance of being around actually tend to be more corrupt than you think.
With the mob and all.
But I think the Joker prides on people who are... He's got two standards. He wants to help the ones that are suffering and struggling. So, like, there was one cop where she was roped into being corrupt, but she was just trying to get more money to help, like, her family. Then he makes the greedy suffer. Mm-hmm. He gets really annoyed when people want a lot.
Money, it's not about the money kind of thing. It's, yeah.
He's more for what's right and wrong. He's like, he thinks he's correcting the world. And I think he wants to show that every human has a bad side.
Yeah. Like, but then it's like, to proving that, like, Harvey, someone as good as Harvey could fall from grace, really. Like, he's I'm a politician, like, I want to make
everything good and
Gotham a safer place and all that kind of stuff, being the white knight of Gotham, to be the hero that they need, but then it's only one man. You could say Batman isn't, but he's getting above the law in a sense. He kind of goes out of his way to, do what at all costs almost to make sure everything's safe in the city as best as he can. But
I think with the Joker, he's wanting to show that if you kind of dealt a rough deal like he was, there's a reason why you could turn out like that.
But obviously this film doesn't go into, like, the backstory of that, but I don't
know if he does, because he kind of says about his dad, but I never know how he gets his scars, what's actually true. Yeah, it's
a lie, again, like a compulsive liar on that, just to, again, for performance sake, because, like, you don't really know what you can truly trust what he says, because, like, he says it to a different story to one person about how he got scars, and it's like...
He's fantastic, he really is.
But what do you think of Christian Bale as Batman, anyway? Obviously, from this first thing, you've obviously not seen him from as he is in Batman Begins, but
he's okay. Yeah, it seems all right. Don't think he's outshone by the Joker for me, to be honest. I think when he's like, I am Batman, that makes me laugh like the voice with the mask on.
Where are they?
It does make me chuckle. It's like it's a bit over the top for me.
I get why he does it though. It's obviously to disguise the fact that if he's talking like his normal voice, then people go, you sound familiar.
Well, true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, just you have to sound so scary.
Yeah. Let's got to intimidate everybody. That's the point.
I don't know why can't you just be like, I am Batman instead. I don't know.
That's not, wouldn't have the same impact, I don't think.
I think the people that annoy me the most in this, Harvey does actually kind of grate on me. Because
I feel like he's too much trying to be a goody two-shoes.
yeah, and I think actually he's just not sincere. Rachel annoys me, actually, to be fair, because she's in love with Harvey, but then she's keeping Bruce on the side and saying, oh, well, when you're not Batman, I'll be with you. And that just annoys me because it's like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too, love. Yeah. Like, you either want to be with Batman and you suffer all of the consequences of him being Batman, or you get over that, move on, and marry Harvey. Mm-hmm. Don't just string both of them along. Yeah. And I think that annoys me because, like...
I can understand that, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, actually, I wasn't relieved that she did die, but I was a little bit like, well, karma's a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Neither one can have her now.
Yeah, because just before she does, she's like, oh, my answer is yes.
But why was she holding off? Like, if her answer was always yes and she loved him, why didn't she just marry him? Because she clearly didn't know herself.
In the dire situation of, being tied up and everything.
A bit of a shit show, that one. But when the Joker and Batman are on screen together, it works really well.
Yeah, of course. You've got to have that chemistry there, and they certainly have it, yeah.
They do. And the Joker just, what a character to play. And just how you can interpret it, how he can act, how he can pronounce things, the way that, like, some of the lines he comes out with are just fantastic.
Let's put a smile on that face. And it's all like that kind of, and still the craziness that it comes.
And even like he's laughing and
they're doing the hair brushing back. Hello, beautiful. And it's like, just.
He's a creepy ass character, but he's fantastic. We have got some other big names in here. We've got the guy from Scrooge.
Michael Caine. Yeah. As Alfred, yeah.
It just reminds me of the end of it when he's singing.
Hey, what?
You know, from the Christmas Carol.
Oh, right, I guess I didn't
straight away, kind of, when he sings and he's at the end and he's really nice and jolly, his voice just takes me there.
Right, okay.
So he's a bit hard, because...
Yeah, but Michael Caine doesn't seem to bother with changing his accent. He's just
who he is. And I don't know, I just see him and I'm like, yeah, you're from the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Right, okay.
Kermit should come up on the screen.
And a Batman.
We also have the lovely
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Lucius Fox, who helped him out in the first film as well, like, sort of like getting his tech gear and gadgets.
His voice is amazing though, so I feel like they've got some really good, strong...
Oh yeah. Christopher Nolan's not definitely picking his cast and stuff.
Just don't feel like we've got really a strong lead for a female, but I feel like they always have to be like the heroic kind of male comes in, saves woman, and... I suppose. Yeah. But it's not a problem. I think if Harley Quinn was in it, I don't know. She's probably like that.
I think that if they did that, it would be a bit overkill with the
two of them.
The two of them, yeah. I think, you need... Like I say, for the majority of the film, is almost solely Joker, really. But then, as obviously from that like choice between the two, Harvey and Rachel, then it's Harvey becomes Two-Face from his...
injuries.
Yeah.
And so, I always feel like he's somewhat bad anyways. Right. Even at the beginning, I just assumed he was bad, and I don't know why. And it's weird because when we were watching it, I said to you, he's bad, isn't he? And you were like, well, you didn't get to the end, how do you know? And I'm like, I don't know, I just know he's bad. But he looks like he should be more of a baddie than he actually is.
Good. You say all politicians are bad.
I feel like you're just perceived to be good and then you turn out bad.
Yeah, but I guess that's how in the political world that you come across that way, don't you? Sometimes you don't like anybody.
Like Trump.
Yeah.
Don't think it was ever good to begin with.
Yeah.
But to be fair, there's so many clever things that he does. Joker. For example, there's obviously the stunt between Harvey and Rachel. There's a stunt of getting Harvey Dent out of the hospital. Mm-hmm. Blowing up all the the hospital. I shouldn't laugh.
An amusing romp.
It's the scene when he comes out in the nurse outfit.
Is the fact that he's in the nurse outfit, or just because he's like walking away like... Mm-hmm.
It's both, and the way he's like smiling, and then he's like pressing the button comically, and then it's like...
there's unintentional humour, I suppose. But...
And then it doesn't blow up, and he's still like, and then presses it again, and he's like, la 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 la, just walking off really happy. And I just think it's just so cleverly put together with the humour, the way he delivers it, the bomb going and blowing up.
Effects hold up.
Yeah.
I'd say there's nothing going, oh, that looks a bit ropey in terms of CGI or anything like that. I feel like there probably was some practical effect, I would have thought, really.
I think that was better, though, because I think sometimes with all this, like, CGI crap and everything else, it just makes it feel outdated when you get better technology coming along.
Exactly, that's really... Because, I mean, like, you're looking at, like, going sort of later on with the nighttime driving scene with the Batmobile and the bike and everything, and that kind of going through the streets and everything, and that's like, well, still look, hold on, and start getting chills and stuff. Like, even when, like, one of many favourite scenes, really, but, like, you know, when he's got the bike and he tips the truck over, he's like, oh, he missed, and then he pulls him, it's like, it goes quiet for a second, and it just tips him over, and then, like, Joker then gets out the truck, and it's like, with the gun's like, come on, hit me, come on, hit me. And kind of, as he's obviously doing, like, well, Batman's going to charge it. Joker, and then goes. It's
fantastically done, and everything. The Joker is always 2 steps ahead of the police, Batman, anyone. He's just there, and he says he's chaos, but I think he is very thought
methodical
out.
At the same time, but that's the unbalance that he's got with it.
And then from that scene as well, he gets put into prison, but that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a weird scene where this one guy's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling very well in the prison." And he's saying, my stomach hurts.
I just want my phone call.
And he's like, and like, who are you going to ring? Nobody's going to come for you. And he's acting really sweet and innocent. But this guy's got a massive bomb in his belly. Yeah. So I think this is where he's kind of saying, it's not about money, it's about sending a message, it's about...
Alfred says, like, you know, some people just want to watch the world burn, basically. There's no rhyme or reason behind, you know, the monetary value of things or anything like that.
But I feel like that's probably... something to do with how he's been raised or brought up, that he wants the world to burn, and I think that's kind of why he is the way he is. Because some people just do it for greed, and his is not there. He's not greedy. Joker's not a greedy character. He's, apart from buying his weapons and whatever he needs, he's not really fussed, is he?
No.
You don't really see where he lives or resides or has a car or...
No, you don't need any of that. He's an enigma in himself, and it's like, it feels like it should be. I mean, obviously, like, that sort of was touched upon in Joker as well. Like, there wasn't really a defining, like, who he truly was. Like, you given a name or anything like that with that. But this, again, like, no fingerprints, it's custom clothing, all that kind of stuff that it's got. So it's like, don't know nothing about it, but like Chancey Gardner
they're a bit different. You can't compare Chancey Gardner to Batman and Joker. But yeah, tad difference. Another thought out plan of his was, I think he's always playing against the cops, and he knows, like, Gordon will go, oh, okay, right, we need to evacuate everybody from Gotham because the Joker's just wreaking havoc and he's not going to stop until we kind of either kill him, basically. So their plan, which is not a great idea, is, we'll get everybody on a ship. And boat them all out. It'd have been better doing individual planes in the sky or something like that. But no, we'll just mass put everybody in one place so that it's easier to kill everybody in one go, like battleships, basically. He's already thinking of what the police are going to think, to what he wants to do, to how he can plan this out. And he puts the criminals on one boat, and then loads of innocent people from
City on the other one, And so it's almost, you know, one of those, like, tests who's going to kill who first. You know, you would think, the civilians would be like, we'll just get rid of the criminals, they had the chance, kind of stuff. But it shows, from the end of that, the outcome being, like, nobody's as sick and twisted as you, Joker, because they've got the morals at the end of the day. Even obviously one of the inmates kind of just throws the...
I really thought he was going to blow it up, to be fair. Like, the way that he was looking. And I think they thought that they were going to get blown up, and it just shows, actually...
Yeah, again, tension building for things. So, like, throughout that sequence, it's going like, what's going to happen? really. And so you think you know what's going to happen, but...
Well, even at 12 o'clock, you assume that the Joker's got something and is going to blow both of them up anyways.
What's the result? I came prepared. And, yeah.
But then that doesn't happen because
Yeah.
of Batman, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get this kind of thing where the Joker says he's never going to kill the Batman because it's too much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that means Batman's never going to quit. He's never going to be with Rachel, even if she's obviously not a figment.
Right now you are the hero that Gotham needs but may not deserve, essentially. Because, as I say, at the end of that, that's what it's all about. It's the balance of, let's say, good and evil at the end of the day, really. Like, like trying to keep on atop of all the crime and sort of the balance within the city, all that stuff, without everything descending into chaos.
Yeah, because I think Harvey is that kind of resemblance of the good, and
to the common man, I suppose, that
and the public need to know that he's still good, because it could be easy to think, oh well, if he can slip, anyone can slip, and that's what the Joker's intentions were. So it makes it look like Batman actually is the baddie. Yeah,
who just wears a mask, and whereas Harvey's, at that point is a hero with a face.
Yeah.
That they can trust, essentially. He can do it without wearing a costume.
The Batman's actually kind of won over Joker and kind of ruined his plans in that sense.
Yeah, and then it's a bit of a bittersweet thing when Joker says, like, oh, we're destined to do this forever, and as a matter of fact, couldn't happen. That was for him anyway, because
So how many other films after this was with Christine Bale in? Is it
just Christine Bale? Yeah, just the one after the one that.
And did they have another Joker?
No, he wasn't brought back for that one. It was a different person.
Oh, like a different villain.
A different villain. Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I feel like him as the Joker, but I guess this was his last performance.
I think so. Looked out really on that as a strong send off from. I know you're not very big into soundtracks, but this is one of my favourite ones in terms of the score.
I was trying to think of when they actually nobody actually sung.
No.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
I guess, but it's a mood piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
dramatic and.
Yeah, I don't know. Normally, my favourite scores would be quite quiet, quite tranquil and nice.
Whimsical.
Yeah. Which was if you were listening to in your ear, it's like. I don't think I could. But I can see where you're coming from. It is brilliantly done. Everything is really thought of throughout the film. The music, the lighting. The only one gripe I've got.
Go on.
Is the back end.
Okay.
Where Batman's got this really fangled technology thing.
Lucius Fox, yeah. It's like a sonar sensor, like a bat. So he could he's rigged all the cell phones in the city to have so he can see in the entirety of Gotham. It's a bit, but I can understand. Yeah, it's a bit overload on the visual senses, really.
It's playing like a video game or something. That's what it feels like. And he's really erratic everywhere. And I get it, he's trying to find where Joker is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's such a blue, flashing, whitish light that it's just a bit too much on your eyes compared to the whole entire film being quite dark and moody.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
And then it's this vibrant white blue, which I was like, I understand the reasons behind it and everything. My eyes were hurting. I could not look at it. So if anyone had seizures or epileptic fits, then I feel like the back end you'd be not allowed to watch.
True, yeah. But obviously it's intentional because it's say trying to find the Joker in this building. But even going to that, you're still not. It's kind of a twist on who's the hostages, who's the. Because you just assume, the people with the clown masks are
the hostage, but he's still
the criminals here, but it's actually
the hostages. He's not daft. He's really not daft. He's clever because it's they've got used to this now, so we'll just let him kill innocent people.
Turn on its head.
Yeah. Also, with Harvey, in the end, he gets to a point of where he's lost his love of his life, Rachel, even though she wasn't really sure, and. Now he's blaming Gordon, the commissioner, because...
Yeah, he becomes commissioner. Before that, he was Lieutenant Gordon. So yeah.
Oh, a chief, was he?
Yeah. He was, I said, I pointed out, was it Sirius Black?
Yeah. I still can't see it.
Yeah, obviously a lot older with them, glasses on and stuff. But yeah, but no, Gordon does a great job in this, and subsequently with the other films as well. So.
And he was meant to have died, and I truly believe that as well, being gullible, thinking he was dead. But Gordon,
yeah. No, to protect himself, like just getting one up on the Joker, essentially, or so they thought. Yeah,
which worked. But I think the Joker was like, I don't know, 2 steps ahead of it already. To be fair, broke his wife's heart, thinking he was dead, and then comes back on the door, and she's like, wants to slap him.
Well, she did. I don't blame her, but doing it to protect the family, but
then still get a bit roped into it, but not by the Joker, by Harvey, don't they? Yeah. Which I think he's just jealous at this point and doesn't want anyone else to be happy, just Harvey. He's like, if you can't,
in a sense, yeah.
If I can't have it, neither can you. And he's a bit bitter. I don't know how he actually dies though, because I think Batman kind of shoves him, but it's not like he should die from that.
Funny enough, I thought the same thing. Like I think the first time I watched it, or even the second time, whatever. But thinking, I'm trying to gauge on how much of a fall that was from. It didn't look like. Thinking that didn't look like much of a drop, but I'm guessing it must have been to.
Unless it depends on how he's positioned. Maybe he's cracked his neck or something,
You just assume, because you're thinking, okay, that's that then.
Yeah, it seemed a bit.
It just fell off. Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was no fight scene really. It was just like a, and then that was it. And I was like,
that was a shove gesture that Sophie did there.
And then he was dead, and I was like, oh right. I really thought it was going to be like come off the floor, and a bit more was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it didn't. To say the length of it, it doesn't feel that long.
No, you know what? I thought the same thing as well. It's been a good while since I've seen it, but I couldn't remember thinking, is this going to be like Oppenheimer? I'm just remembering wrong. Like, is it going to be like long periods where I'm thinking, let's get to seeing Joker again or whatever? But I can't really fault like how excellently paced the film was. Like action, quiet moment, talking whatever, then back to Joker.
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. It's action's structured so well in terms of thing, and I really just feel like it did fly by. Even though you did say to me like, I feel like we're getting to the end now. When I think it's when Gordon like reveals that he's back alive,
and the Joker being put in prison, and it felt like
that's that.
Oh, okay, is that it?
Yeah.
But then I'm grateful that it wasn't, because it was not like so clear as day. Like, oh right, okay, this happens, and it goes through the motions.
And then happy ever after, yeah.
Yeah, whereas this was like, oh, actually, we're just gonna twist everything.
Back, yeah.
And it was brilliant.
Yeah. I don't think, like I say, like sort of like what the political themes and stuff that was going on, it wasn't, and say like there was the courtroom stuff and everything like that, but it wasn't like going, oh god. It
wasn't like Oppenheimer where you're like, da-da-da. And he's actually in it, isn't he? He's one of Joker's.
Cillian Murphy, yeah, he's the Scarecrow, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a long-term collaborator, I suppose, with Christopher Nolan. So.
Still think it's better than Oppenheimer. And not as long.
By, half an hour, yeah.
Half an hour matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I quite like Batman as a character. Bruce Wayne, not so much.
They're like playboy billionaire type of thing. But...
What does he do to be so rich? Because nobody pays him to be Batman.
No, it's all through like trust funds and stuff like, the business Wayne Enterprises or whatever is where the money comes in to develop all this technology and stuff. Yeah, you don't get paid to be a superhero.
But what is he doing? What is his job? Like, how has he got so much money? And I don't, obviously because I haven't watched the first one, he just seems a bit of an arrogant twat. Like, he just seems like, oh, look at me, so I really like Rachel, but I'm going to bring 3 girls to this party, and, oh, yes, this is an amazing gymnast or whatever she was, joining the double date.
Yeah.
And just being a bit chauvinistic and a bit of a pig.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what, it's almost like a contrast from what Batman has to be, and he's obviously like, fighting justice and all that kind of stuff, where he can be quote normal in his, or he got to be like aristocratic type of sensibilities when he's out and about. We're like, oh, he's he's a big shareholder in the for the city. The money comes through him. A lot of through a lot of channels and kind of stuff, so he's got to have those keep up appearances of that.
And I think that's why I like the Joker so much more. He's so down to earth, he's just normal. I know that sounds weird for me to say, he's normal because he's killing everybody. But I think because he doesn't want for a lot and he doesn't have a lot. And I think that's the difference, where he's more relatable in a sense.
I guess so, yeah. We're not all going like, well, I get you, Bruce Wayne. With
we've got a Lamborghini and
go on a yacht and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I know obviously I think it's like a bit of a James Bond kind of...
In a sense,
vibe.
Yeah.
The going
the
for
cars,
with him.
the women and all that stuff.
Yeah. But just, I don't know, weirdly, I prefer the villain than I do the hero.
Yeah, so it's always more fun to be the villain, I think, or play the villain. That's as much as we love to hate the villain. Yeah.
Also, there was another bit with the little accountant, like when a bit corrupt and...
Oh, yeah. He was trying to like blackmail
Batman.
It's like, no, that's not going to work.
Even Morgan Freeman was like, do you really want to do this? He kills people for a living or like beats them up.
Yeah.
Initially as well, the first scene that we do see fake Batman. And he's got guns and I'm like, what?
You were like, what the hell? You don't remember that? Like, Batman doesn't have guns and stuff. It's like, there's like 3 of them. It's like, it's getting the copycats thing, trying to like thinking they can, I can be Batman. It's a piece of piss. Yeah, it's really not.
Well, I just felt like Batman always just kind of used his fists. That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
And
some catch a tree and just...
There was one bit that he did say where he's like, well, mine's not foam or whatever when he's in his suit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other guy was like saying about, why can't I look like Batman?
Hockey pads, yeah.
But then, when you look at Bruce Wayne, he's not that henched, is he, really?
A little bit, but no, he's not like...
He's not like Batman. Like...
What do you mean?
Like, his guns are not like that when he's not out of his suit, so something's protecting him.
Yeah.
And padding. So...
Yeah, but it's not just... I think it's a bit more like high-tech, armour padding, not just the bog standard stuff you get from a regular store or whatever. Yeah, it's a bit more advanced than that. He's got to be to,
I would, though, watch this again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. But what would you... Here's another question. Would you be interested in seeing, like, essentially this would be the prequel for you, and then seeing, like, what happens in The Dark Knight Rises, the following film?
I'd probably give him a go, but I feel like it'd be a bit bittersweet because the main person that attracts me to this film is not going to be there.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I feel like they'd probably let me down a little bit more. Because the Joker he makes it. Not saying it's a crap film if he wasn't in it, but just...
It'd be hard to, imagine, like, essentially, like, say, if somebody else played it, or, he wasn't in it.
I think it's like thinking of Robin Williams, where he's like the genie, and obviously when Will Smith did it, it was just a bit like, this doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that. He's like, even in like Mrs. Doubtfire, it's, I don't know, I don't think anyone else could do any job like him. And I think this is similar to this, I think.
Okay, I guess.
Nanny McPhee, that's what's her face, isn't it?
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson.
Is
it?
Yeah.
An old Emma Thompson, like lots of makeup.
Yeah, lots of makeup. Not. Before we go into scoring, then, is there any like standout scenes for you that you could like go through? Because there's quite a few that for me, but I've touched on one of them.
My cop-out answer would be anything with the Joker in.
But anyone, but
I
I'm
like
going to say, but anyone in particular, where it's like, even like when you first see him, or
when you first see him on the bus.
Yeah. I was sorry. I meant the when he comes in to see the criminals in that room.
With the ticking bombs.
Let's not blow this out of proportion now. And the little do a little magic trick.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
It's good. Yes. So obviously we touched upon the hospital scene and him coming out of that one. Mm-hmm. The other one is, and it's only small.
Yeah.
When he's got all that cash.
Yeah.
Behind him, and he's like, "I'm a man of my word," and he slides down the cash.
Yeah.
And then he starts lighting it up, and just his pure satisfaction in tormenting, and just the way that he delivers it. Uh-huh. Even his little giggles as he's throughout, just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know, even when he's been beaten up and he's like laughing hysterically, and it's like, he doesn't care. Yeah. One other thing, like for me, is like I sort of mentioned to you, like the fact of it's just a very minor scene, doesn't last like maybe like 10 seconds, where Joker's just hanging out of a cop car and he's almost like, you know, like letting the wind blow in hair like a dog would, you know, when they stick the tongue out. And it always, from that scene, a little gif I've seen multiple times on Twitter or whatever, I randomly, even though it's got nothing to do with it, like associate that with the Weeknd song Faith, where there's like as that song sort of like peters out, there's like sirens and stuff, and it kind of like feels like that nighttime driving type of thing. I always associate with that, so that kind of,
and it's the links into blind lights
anyway, so,
and then ended up in a back of a flashing
car. Makes
sense. Now I know why you like it so much.
But do you like this so much you'll give it a high score, is the question.
Well, why so serious, Paul? Does it really matter what I score it? So I can't score it highly, just because you want me to.
Okay.
So for me, I think, just because, you know, you've got the Batman, who's a bit of a twat of a character, you've got Rachel, who's a bit crap. I think I'm going to have to give it a 10.
I mean, come on, I saw that. Come on, as try as you might.
I was going to say a 2, and then I thought, if I go 2, he's going to think, oh, that's too low. And if I go... No, it's a 10. Just the Joker itself is fantastic. I can't believe it's taken me this long to watch the full film.
Mm-hmm. Worth the price of admission, essentially, for just him.
Yeah, even if I watched halfway through. At least I gave him some money towards his paycheck.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's just hilariously funny. It's like you said, from the get-go, you've got the mood is set.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel 2 hours and a half long. It doesn't drag. You've got petered out sections of talking and action, and then the end, it's just like boom, boom, boom. But it's not that kind of action where you're like, oh, okay.
This is dragging, yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's because the dialogue's still there. The dialogue in this film, for it being an action superhero film, is really good. And that's down to the Joker's lines that he has.
Just the Joker's lines, nobody else's.
I think because he's the quipped one, he's the one thinking about everything, he's the one that's causing all this chaos, but thinking about everything and manipulating everybody. He is like playing chess with everybody.
Yeah. Well, it might not come as a surprise that this is also going to be a 10 from me.
I think if you could score it higher, you would.
Yeah. Would. But I'd say it's my favourite. It still is my favourite Christopher Nolan film, and probably, I would say, in terms of like a superhero films go as well, that is up there as well, if not like trumping most other films. So it's like within, I don't know where, if I was to put it in like a top, I wonder if it would even be in my top 10, but the top 20 at least films all time.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Batman or Spider-Man?
So that is tricky because there's a lot.
If the buildings were burning and neither one of them could fly out. Oh, that's one thing that's shit about Batman. I mean, he's a bat and he glides. He should be able to fly. Anyways. Burning building, both of them are injured. You have to save one of them.
Well, they should be able to save themselves.
No, they're injured. They can't. They're going to die.
Unconscious.
Yeah, both unconscious then.
Which franchise am I saving?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I guess I say consistently, I guess I would sort of enjoy Spider-Man more because it's somewhat more light-hearted, whereas not everything that's Batman related is like, oh yeah, that's great. There are some god awful.
Okay, then if I do
Batman.
this film versus the Spider-Man films with Emma Stone in.
Oh, Batman.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's amazing. No. But if you say Spider-Verse, I don't know. I honestly couldn't.
I feel like that's different. You can't judge that because it's not the same.
Yeah. But no, 100%. Batman, Dark Knight would win on that one. But... Yeah. Oh, lastly, I feel like we shouldn't go without saying, like the line of the you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Is that obviously that's what Harvey happened. That's what happened to Harvey. He lived because he became the villain. That's
I think it's somewhat true, but I think also you become bitter. The older you get, the bitter you become.
Right.
Like, I know I used to, and I know this sounds really daft, and people could be like, "You're really nice, Sophie." And it's like, I used to be a lot nicer when I was younger, a lot more innocent and a lot more naive. And I think that the life kind of knocks that out of you, and then you become a little bit more bitter and twisted as you age.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's kind of part of that.
I don't really see it that way, but it's a good sort of way to look at it, I suppose.
Just my thoughts. So that's a wrap for Batman.
Yeah, I'm very glad you've enjoyed it and that you would see it again.
Your little face when I went, "That's a good film," when I closed my book and you turned round and you were like, smiled at me.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was good to reach top marks, but they're in the minor nitpicks. But yeah, they're few and far between, aren't they? If there was,
it's hardly anything.
Yeah, but I don't know whether just to see the other ones in our own time or to cover them is, I don't know really, because of the way we've done it.
Well, soon it's my birthday, so we won't be doing it anytime soon.
No,
but we've got the whole lifespan of ours ahead to if we want to. You never know, we might get around to him.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to this episode, and if you would like to listen to some of our other episodes, you can do so by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you get your podcasts from. And it would be very much appreciated also if you would give us a 5-star review on any of those platforms that they do the scoring system. It goes a long way to help us get in the algorithm of being found and discovered, get some new listeners.
That's true. And if you haven't already and you do want more of the wonderful SP film viewers, then you can find us on social media. So we are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. So you can find us on there under the handle SP_film viewers. So hit those likes, comments, and everything like that. And follow us, obviously.
Now we come on to the Patreon section. We read out people who have shown their support signing up. So before we get to reading those names out, and you'd like to have the same treatment and get the chance to vote for a movie we watch once a month, then you can do so by going to patreon.com/SP Film Viewers for as little as £1 or $1.50 a month, like these people have done.
So, are we starting in any chronicle order here? Or
no, just freestyling it, whatever.
So, we've got my mum. She's nowhere to be found, but we've got her. She does vote, and bless her, she gets a shout out. So even if you're not on social media, don't be reluctant. You can still get the perks of Patreon.
We've got Nico from the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast.
Big shout out to him.
I think we're scheduled for something on his
podcast
in the October month. So
is it scary? It will be.
Sort of.
But they like all their horror-y, murdery things. Well, Larry's just told me that now.
Surprise.
We have Mark from 100 Things to Learn from Film. I wonder if they're getting exhausted or top trumping them 100 things they know now.
We've got Ben from Film Vloggers, who's now back in the UK.
After a year of travelling, yeah.
So, interested to see if he gets a little bit rusty from all the travelling to get back into
normality. I think that must be tricky. But also you miss your home comforts too.
Yeah.
We have the wonderful Emma.
New Patreon.
Newest of newests. She is another Patreon's fiancé. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm excited for her being on my side. We're very similar. So I'm excited for her to kind of equal the voting out.
Yeah.
So she's on Instagram. You can find her under the handle M_Hayton. So give her all your love. She's the most loveliest, funniest person, I feel. So I don't know, it's because I feel like I can see some qualities. I mean, yeah.
You get along well. Yeah.
She's got similar film views to me, so I'm excited.
And to match that, we've got, see, her fiance and friend and guest we've had on, our friend Jones, who is under the handle at Weight Loss Jonesy on Instagram.
I think he's getting excited for the October months coming along. I think he'll love me being tortured to death. And he's more on your wavelength.
He's well, yeah. We talk as well about movies and stuff like, have you seen this horror film?
I was like, no, we haven't. Sophie has not seen that. But you just, you do.
Yep.
We have got your good friend from school, who's, I don't know, is into more sci-fi kind of, would you say, genre?
Mm-hmm.
Would say. So anything like that, he would be one to reach out and talk to. He'll have anyone message him and speak to him. He's quite open that way. So it's Gren or Chris Gren, however you want to name him. I just know him as Gren, which is his last name. Yep. Don't know, I feel like I can't not call him Gren. Mm-hmm. So if you do want to find him on Instagram, he's cgren_draw.
Another female Patreon we have, who is also engaged to another of ours.
Oh, the wedding's coming up soon.
Yeah. And that is Shani, who goes by SDOG on Instagram.
Well done, Paul. You didn't murder it like me.
Or Marvellous Keys is a profile name, but yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, but not least, is Alex, Shani's fiancé, getting married at the end of the year, which we're very excited about. And he has been on one of our episodes a while ago now, to be fair. That was quite a fun episode to have him on because he's very hilarious. So if you do want to follow him on social media or anything like that, then you can. He's under the handle Desperately Seeking Username, which I do think is funny. No, I think he's just level the sense of humour. I think this is why you get along with him so well. Mm-hmm. He's just quite, his thought and his brain is quite
one of my oldest friends, yeah.
So. Out there as well. But yeah, he's one of your oldest friends. So we're really lucky to have lovely Patreons, but obviously anyone can join the family.
Absolutely anybody. Within reason. Right, well, that's another episode done.
I think it was a good one this time, though. I really enjoyed it. I think it's been one where it's actually been a standout one for me. So thank you for picking it, because I know sometimes I absolutely hate the films you do pick. And I'd like to feel like September, if we can get some good ones in, make me feel a little bit happier before we get to October.
I'll do my best, yeah.
Well, part of it's mine anyways.
Yeah. So we've got some of those laid out anyways, plans. But
I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. So thank you very much for listening to this episode, and we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.